that better? Oh my goodness. I've just done a hello to everybody and there's no sound. It took me that long to get down before I saw Patsy saying no sound. Now everybody's telling me no sound. We can't hear you. No sound. No sound. Surely there's sound now. So many watching, isn't there yet? Yes, we can hear you. I don't know why it did that. It normally unmutes. It has it on mute while the intro video is playing. So the countdown, and then you put your intro on, it mutes you. And then as soon as the intro stops, it unmutes you, or it's supposed to. But I've just spent the last 3 minutes saying hello to everybody individually, and now there's all these people in, so a collective hello to everybody. What a start. And what I was saying was I was just there saying hello, and I looked up and I realized I've left both doors open, and I normally have them closed. And then I was like, how tidy is my kitchen? Don't normally like, because I know what I'm like. If I'm watching somebody live, I'm looking, oh, they've got that door open. What have they got in there? So you can see everything's opposite, isn't it? So my bookcases in the hall, I was like, they're a bit messy. I've got my I'm going the wrong way. Just do it like as if I'm pointing in real life. My herbs are out because I have a little rack with herbs and things on. But I said I can't be bothered to get up and shut the door because I've got shorts on. So you just have to excuse me. You think you're all prepared. I was there, I've got my coffee, I've got a few things to show you. And yeah, I'm all set, all ready to go. Let's go. No sound, and I left my doors open. Tidier than mine, says Emma. Hey up, Ducky. Hello, Tony. How are you? I'm just in my boxer shorts. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't have the nicest legs, so getting up and shutting those doors, you would see them. I love it. Look at my herb racks, not my legs. Yeah, I'd rather you see my. Oh, it's all kind of bleached out now with just the evening sun coming round. So all of my windows, all these apartments, they all face in one direction. So you either face east, like I do. Does it set in the east? Gosh, what is up with me? The way the world turns. No, it rises in the east and sets in the west. Yes, that's right, because that's North Nottingham, South Nottingham, yes, East Midlands Airport. I faced east, so I see the setting sun and the planes landing at East Midlands Airport. There's the clue. But I never see a sunrise, but I see lots of beautiful sunsets. So in the evenings, the sun floods in. Yeah, in the summer anyway. If it's in the winter, it's flooding in about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it's gone for 3. I'm guessing it's the onion skins you don't want us to see. Remember those? Onion skins? I didn't want you to see onion skins. I don't remember. I don't remember any onion skin stories. Enlighten me, remind me. Hello, Caroline. Lovely to see you. Grateful Annie. Hello, Annie. Says, I just found you on YouTube. Love your recommendations and fun chats. Onward. Annie from Camino Islands, Washington, USA. Well, welcome, Annie. It's lovely to have you here with us. I'm drinking a nice glass of ice cold Guinness. I went out last night. It was a friend's celebration, and we went out last night, and yeah, it wasn't a late night, but we started at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But it was nice and sunny, and when you sit outside, you have a nice ice cold pint of lager, and you're only going to go for one, and then that one becomes 2, and It's a long time since I've done something like that, so it was really nice. But I woke up this morning and you have that sort of, I need water, I need water. I was like that. Then I've had a lovely day because I met a friend for lunch who I've not seen since January, one of my oldest friends. We met up in town, went for a coffee, did a bit of people watching, that sort of thing, and we had some lunch, and yeah, it was nice. There's a world market on, which has got lots of foods from around the world, but lots of gifts and ceramics, and oh, it was lovely. Oh, I meant to go back and get a pendant. There was a pendant. I might have to go tomorrow, and it's Aqua Aura quartz, and it wasn't bad priced. I was kind of umming and ahhing because I didn't know if it was dyed quartz, and not, real infused with gold to get that Aqua Aura kind of finish. I've got to clean up from kiddo's lunch back soon. All right, Violet. Onion skins. Oh yes, let's see what the onion skins was about. Onion skins are the noughties, 2000s answer to those 80s high cut shorts for men. My boss wore them, very see-through. No, these are thick. These are quite thick shorts, but they're above the knee. So yeah, won't be a pretty sight, put it that way. Aqua Aura is always quoted. Yes, but there's a difference, isn't there, between coated and dyed. You get quite a few stones that you just know aren't natural because they're dyed. So I've got a lovely piece of Aqua Aura quartz. I mean, like this, this unicorn one, it's got dye in it, obviously, but I know that for what it is. But where is my Aqua Aura quartz? I think it's inside my little gold Buddha, which is in the bedroom. I do have in these imitation Fabergé eggs that have little stands. I've got these little eggs. This one is a Super 7. It's a Super 7 crystal. I love that, and I paid quite a bit for that. So that stays inside one of these little Fabergé eggs. And then I have this, which is Aqua Aura rose quartz. I'm not quite sure if it will pick up the flash. Probably not. You might just see it just kind of looks like light here, but it's got that kind of iridescence. That's really nice. But I have got an Aqua Aura quartz, which is inside one of these. It's like a Buddha that opens up in the middle, and it's got an Aqua Aura quartz in. But yeah, it's in the bedroom. And again, I'm not going to go into the bedroom. I want to get an orgonite prism. Your one is beautiful. I've got a couple of orgonite prisms. Again, one next to the bed, which is the universe one, and the other one I can't really get to because I've stacked everything up here for me. But it's back there. I might be able to get to it now, not without sending everything crashing. But thank you. Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? So, a couple of things. If you're in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, you would have seen that I put in there this morning. I've had a new Kelly Bear pouch come today. I bought it when she did her drop the other night, Sunday night. And this one has got a hair on it. Look how gorgeous that is. I really love it. And it's a standard plus, which means there's lots of room in this. And perfect, because my go-to deck. So if you remember when I did the tag my workhorse decks, I talked about different decks that I use for different things like Inner Child, all sorts, pathworking, all that kind of thing. But then I talked about the standard deck that I use, my Ride or Die, I called it. And it is a copy of PAM A, but it's on the thick cardstock that MPC have started to do. with the crackle bats because it's a reproduction of Pam A, but it is such a chunky monkey. But the original Pam A was a thick deck, not like what you get now. But because it was from MPC, it doesn't come in a box or anything like that. And the tins, these are too thick for the tins that you get from MPC. I do have what was called the study deck, but again, that's thinner than this deck, so there's no point getting one. But because of this gorgeous ribbon, I don't know if you can see, it matches perfectly with the backs, and the stitching all the way around is the same. I mean, these are hand stitched, handcrafted by Kelly herself, and each one takes a while. And then we've got this beautiful blue on the inside, and of course with the RWS there's lots of blue. Just so happens now every card I'm turning has got a blue background, more or less. But there's lots of these beautiful kind of duck egg type blues in there. So I love this, and this is it's out all the time. And if I'm doing a reading particularly if I do readings for other people, I always use a bog standard RWS. For myself at the moment, the one I'm using the most is the video I did last, which is about when a new deck becomes an instant favorite, which is Pixie's Whisper. So because this is a standard plus, it fits perfectly. Let me just pop it in and show you. Look at that. Perfect. Fits just amazing. So if you do have thicker decks, like I know, as Kelly said, when she made this one, not knowing I was going to buy it, with the hair on, she was kind of thinking of Oak, Ash and Thorn in mind, which is a thicker deck. So when I bought it, she said, "You do realise it's a standard plus?" And I was like, yes, because I want a plus size, because I want it to have room for a thicker deck. So this is the first time it's gone in there, and this ribbon is beautiful. So I'm just going to wrap her up. So pop that underneath like that. There we go. So latest Kelly pouch, absolutely. And I put in the Hermit's Cave this morning, of all of her pouches, of which I've got quite a few now, certainly over 20. This one is my favourite. I love it. Oh, it smells gorgeous. But that colour combination as well, the chocolate and the kind of like the peachy colour together. Gorgeous. Really nice. Lovely Kelly pouch. Yeah. Lovely match for the deck. Yeah. I've just got home in time for Cuppa ketchup and cards. Just in time for skies here in Long Island started raining. Oh, it's beautiful here today. We did have a little shower a couple of hours ago, but today it's really nice and sunny, as you can see the kind of the sun casting shadows and shining in. So I'm obsessed now. I keep looking down my hall. Don't know why. I think it says I'm moving. There's like shadows on the screen, and it keeps making me think that there's somebody in the hall. Well, that would be weird, wouldn't it? Do you have a deck that's hard to read? Yeah, I've got quite a few decks that's hard to read, and like the Fountain Tarot, I find very hard to read. I just find it quite cold and clinical, so I find it hard to read. But if I've got decks that are quite hard to read, I tend to pass them on. Splendor Solace Tarot, I don't find the easiest to read. It's beautiful. It's a stunning deck. It's one of the most beautiful decks that I've got, but it's not the easiest to read. Not being sunny here, unfortunately. That's a shame. What was the tarot deck again? Was that it's the MPC study deck. So the MPC study deck, I don't know if it's still up, is this one, which is thinner. So it's on your regular cardstock. So it's about that thin. But yeah, that's based on Pame. I don't know if it's still there though. Do you have Patrick Valenza's Oracle of Black Enchantment? Yes, I do. In fact, I've got two versions of it because I've got the Blood edition as well of the Oracle of Black Enchantment. Yeah, so the original, which I got back in when it was released, actually. Was that 2018? I think it was 2018. And then the Blood edition when that came out. Oh, Fran, the one that's wrapped and pouched isn't available at all. It was a friend that just made it for me, and it's not one that's for sale or anything. So yeah, can't get that one. But you know there are other Crackleback RWS decks. Your kitchen is cleaner than mine, Simon. Thank you. And you can only see a small portion of it when you go in through the door there. It then goes all the way down to the window, which is the same length as this front room. So that's just as you walk in where my cooker and washing machine is. But yeah, it looks clean because the sun's shining on it. No, it is clean. I do try and keep the place clean. It is hard when you're working full time and then you come home and you've got to have your dinner and everything else. But okay, I want to talk about a couple of books as well before I throw it open. So I thought today you can decide the topic, okay, or topics, whichever. Every week I kind of try and think of something that we're going to talk about. I thought, you know what, let's hand it over to you. Anything goes. You can decide a topic and we will do it. But just before, couple of books. I don't know if anybody has ever seen this. It came out last year. It's called The Best Seat in the Universe. I went to my sister's on Thursday. It would have been my mum's birthday. So we had a bit of a get together and had a little barbecue. And, you know, it was very nice to be with family. It was obviously bittersweet. But she'd got this book and she said, God, this book is brilliant. I can't put it down. And so I ordered it myself because if she says a book's pretty good, and I always say to her, well, again, ADD, I struggle with books. Will it keep my attention? Is it something I'd enjoy? And she says, yeah, I think you'd love it. So it only came today, just after lunch, actually, at 2:00. I've read about 40 pages, and yeah, it's interesting. Graham Anderson is a businessman, and the idea behind it is instead of doing your regular self-help books, you know, 33 ways to improve your life and all this, or 7 essential steps for happiness, what he does, he tells a story, and the story is about how we can improve our lives and better our lives. So it's the same as a self-help book, but because it's in story form, it's full of little metaphors and analogies and everything like that. But the story is there is a guy, the central figure, Jack, who is there when his granddad passes and is holding his hand and is not wanting him to pass because he's not ready to say goodbye. And when his granddad passes, he takes him with him to the other side. And when they're on the other side, it's their journey towards the best seat in the universe. And the metaphor is the bus. And on the bus, you know, you go through we have to imagine that everybody from the moment we're born boards a bus. And we go through our lives, and the final destination is our passing from this mortal existence. And there's different stops along the bus. The bus stops and you have different kind of chapters of your life, but it's also about the people that come on and off the bus. And all of us, as we go through life, we have people. It's a bit like that poem I love, which is about a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I really believe that the people that come into our lives, I even did a tarot tag on it, um, about decks that are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But people do come into our lives, and some stay forever. Some sit with us on the bus. They get on at a certain stop. So I've got some people that got on a stop, my bus stop, which was leaving school and starting work. There was a handful of people that got on that bus and are still sat with me on that bus. But sometimes people get off the bus, and it could be that they never get on our bus again, or further down the line, they get back on the bus. But and I'm only, like I say, very short of the way through. But what I'm understanding is, if we're thinking about our life and our goals, and if we're trying to improve our lives and our goals, then we need to also be planning our journey that we want our bus to take. So if we want to, I don't know, say I said, right, I want to become a magistrate, then what do I need to do? Well, at the first bus stop, I need to read up and research what qualifications are needed to become a magistrate. The second bus stop is, contact the courts and ask for some experience. So can I come and, sit in on a few cases, or is there any voluntary work I can do? Third bus stop might be to pass my exams. And then the fourth one is to write to the courts and ask for vacancies, or, apply for jobs and stuff like that. Hello, Naomi. Lovely to see you. And then so you make it happen, but it's about seeing life as a journey. And, so it brings in lots of different facets of people, places, planning our routes. Well, yeah, it's so far, it is really catching my attention. So that is good. So that's called The Best Seat in the Universe. On the back, it says, worrying about your direction in life? Discover a simple method to guide you to a better future. Feeling stuck and lacking momentum, not completely sure who you are? Author and business owner Graham Anderson shares his unique approach to unleashing your insecurities with a powerful story that reveals the profound simplicity of helping you take the steps you need to reset your life. The Best Seat in the Universe is a story-based journey centered around a young man and his granddad as they embark on a behind-the-scenes look at life in search of the best seat in the universe. Their quest is built upon a metaphor of a bus journey from birth till death and everything in between. By crystallizing your purpose and direction, you'll soon be filled with the energy and clarity to make you ready to start on the challenge to a better life. So the best seat in the universe, it's got that rose petal feeling as well. So it's very tactile to hold, this book is. Has anybody here read it? Anybody given it a whirl? Problem with this cup is, because it's so wide, the coffee goes cold really, really quickly. Then, when I was out with my friend today, I had to call in at Waterstones. It's not a deck, but I saw this book, and I've seen this mentioned in the Hermes Cave Facebook group a few times, and I found a copy in the bookshop. It was only £15. It wasn't bad, but it's called Wild Card. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's hardback. Simon, sounds like a wonderful book. Just ordered it from Amazon. It will be here tomorrow. $13. That's brilliant. Drink fast. I know I should, shouldn't I? Yeah, so Wild Card. Now, this really appealed to me. I mean, I was like, another tarot book? Do I really need another tarot book? These bookcases here are filled with tarot books. So, but I quite like it because, again, it's about storytelling, and it's storytelling of the cards. So you go to your story, like the Ace of Wands, and it gives you a little bit of a story that you can, and I think it's a great way to learn cards. if you've got a little story to put to them. And that's what I really loved about Barbara Whitner's book, What the Fuck is Tarot, because she put little analogies of her own life experiences to each of the cards, but only in the majors. But it was really cool. Look at the inside as well. I really like it. So it's called Wild Card. Let the tarot tell your story. And I just want to read the first bit of it. This is the bit I read in the shop that made me decide to buy it. Hello, friend. What do you feel when you think of tarot cards? If you're frightened, don't be. If you're curious, that's more like it. These cards are not what they seem. In fact, they're probably not what you've been told at all. They don't really prophesize doom or promise glory, but they are magic in their own small way. Each one has a story to tell. Turn a card over and it can transport you to the past, illuminate the present, or ask questions of the future. It can help you listen to the whispers of your subconscious mind, or hold up a lens through which to look again, closer this time, at the experiences that have made you who you are. Every card in the tarot is a wild card, a portal to the unexpected. Every time you draw your cards, you open up possibilities. What will appear and what will you see in them? What lessons could they offer up? What aspects of yourself might they reveal? So yeah, and it's quite a thick book, but it just looks great for just dipping in and reading a story about each of the cards. So I've just opened it to the Chariot, and it starts off with, "At dawn we ride," says the Chariot. And wow, do we ever. So yeah, so I thought I'd give this one a whirl, and I thought for a hardback book, and $14.99, you can see there at the bottom, in pounds sterling. I thought, a nice book. Caroline, how much is it in America? I know you're on Amazon right now, thinking, right, let's look at that one. What the Fuck of Tarot was actually a great book. I was so surprised. I loved it. I had a really long train journey back in 2017, I think it was, when it was released. And I read most of it on the way down and then coming back. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It is a book that I want to read again, actually. I have it on my TBR pile. Good news, TBR. To be read. US actually, Caroline's on it. US Amazon hardcover is 1922. Okay, so that's about right then, isn't it? That's about right in the conversion. That sounds really cool. Hold up your cup, then we'll all pause and take a sip, says Mary. You all want to pause? Okay. Have a sip. Have a sip of your coffee. I might actually finish it because that's going really cold. To be read. Yeah, I thought it was. I just realised that we're wearing our AirPods. The microphones are here, and I'm sitting there gulping away, thinking, well, you're a way off, you'll not hear that, but you're probably getting a really loud, close sound. Sip, sip, where's Deanne? Yeah, where's Deanne indeed? The other thing I just wanted to mention is, I hope I'm not going into a new obsession. Pens. So, I love pens. And what I realised the other day is I'm losing the ability to write. I do have a bullet journal. I do have my Midori Traveller's Journal. But I'm also a bit of an Apple head. And, I've got Apple Watch, iPod, iPad. I've got 2 iPads, iPhone, AirPods, And then I discovered these, which are these styluses, and GoodNotes, which is an app. And in GoodNotes, let me show you, I've got all these journals for different things, mostly to do with work. You know, I've got journals for certain meetings, or conference notes, all that kind of thing. So, and then when you go in, you can use your stylus to write and highlight and everything like that. So I am still writing, but you can convert it to text and all that sort of thing. And then I bought a bullet journal because I'm at that age, let's be honest. I'm at that age where if I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. It's a sad fact of life. I ain't going to remember it. So I used to bullet journal about 5 years ago. So I went out and I bought a bullet journal, and then I've got some pens that I like to use, which are just kind of biro pens. But there was a WH Smith's. Now, WH Smith's is a stationery shop in the main over here, and we've got two in the city. And one of them was closing down, so they had a 75% off day because they wanted to clear stock. And I bought a lame. I say lame, but I think it's lame, or I'm not quite sure, but lame. And it's just a ballpoint pen, but I'll show you on a piece of paper. It writes really nice. Quite thick, which I like. But yeah, it writes really nice. Nice thick. I can't thinking. What am I saying? It writes nice. It's nice, clear, bold ink. It's not too scratchy. I don't like pens that are scratchy. You know, you're writing, and it's like, yeah, I like it to be almost like gel ink, but this isn't gel ink. It's just a ballpoint pen. And then people have been like, "Oh, you've got a lame. Oh, I've got a fountain pen lame." So I brought a fountain pen lame. I bought it today, so it's got. They all have the same design, really. They say lame, and they've got that nice big clip on it. So I thought, I'm gonna start using a fountain pen. And this one I bought in blue. But writing with a fountain pen is amazing, isn't it? And just noticed, I went to a grammar school. Can you believe I went to a grammar school? And I put it writes really nice. So I put underneath, it writes really nicely. So that's the fountain pen. And this wasn't too expensive. Not too expensive, really. But then I've been going onto YouTube and looking at pens. What's happening to me? And I've been sucked into like all these different nice kind of fountain pens and things will last forever. Yeah, and I've been learning how to take care of your nibs and how before you put your ink in, you shouldn't just take one empty cartridge out and put another one in. You should submerge it in warm water so it cleans it. Who knew? The pen I love, and this was sent to me actually as a gift. This one, which is just the most tactile pen in the world. You unscrew it, and again, it's ballpoint, but this writes really nicely as well. So, it's not as thick, but I used to use this for like writing checks and things, and that writes really nicely. I like it when it's nice, thick ink, but it's got a real weight in this, so you really feel like you're using a quality pen, which it is a quality pen, but it was a gift, so I'm not sure how much it costs or anything like that. I won't want to know. But yeah, it stands upright on my. I kept thinking, should I actually stand it upside down? Because if it stood upright, the ink's going to drop down, isn't it? Maybe I should stand it like that. But it stands up on my desk anyway. Let's see what you guys are chatting about. See how much joy we get from pens, right? I mean, I've always liked a nice pen. And where did I put? I keep looking around because I've got just some. I say cheap, they're like £2.49. Retractable ballpoint pens, and they write really nice. And I used to just keep buying about a bunch of 5 from Clinton's at a time, or 4 at a time, a tenner, because there was £2.49. And I used to use them all the time, but I'm a bit of a Lammy fan. Carla says, "Oh, Simon, you're in danger now, boy." I heard that in uh, Whoopi Goldberg's voice from Ghost. Molly, you in danger, girl. Will last forever. I love a nice fountain pens. I follow a stationery channel. They can be really addictive, can't they? Brian Blushing Nerd was talking about GoodNotes on a live recently. It sounds really good. I've been meaning to install that. It is really good if you're going to a meeting at work and you don't want loads of notebooks and things like that. And you can just create a new book. So if there's a regular meeting that you go to, say it's an equalities meeting, you could just create a notebook and you can just keep writing in it. You can underline, you can rub out, you can use all the functions with it, and it is good for that. And then you can convert it to text. It's not that great, especially if you've got scruffy writing like me. But yeah, so it's good for that. But I don't know. Modern technology is great for a lot of things, but there's some things that it can't replace. It's like Kindle. I had a Kindle Paperwhite. Never charge it now. It's in the ottoman. See this ottoman behind me here with the throw on? In there is my Kindle Paperwhite. I don't think it's been charged for 3 years because I prefer a book. As you've just seen, I bought 2 today. So there's certain things that technology can't replace, and pens, I think is one of them. Or she did a great video on fountain pens. If you haven't seen it, I haven't seen that. You're on a slippery slope, says Anne. Wait till you see the amazing inks. My favourite is Shimmer ink. Is that by Lamy? Shimmering ink would be nice, wouldn't it? I like purple ink as well. Do they do purple ink? No Tara 2 for Simon, it's pen tube. People will be like, Simon's gone very quiet on his channel. And then he'll be there. I'll be there under another channel all about fountain pens. Kelly Bear has a thing for inks too. Well, Kelly bought me a fountain pen a few years ago, one Christmas, and I loved it. And then the nib just broke on it. I was really gutted. Pilot G2, yeah. No, I mean, you can spend a fortune, can't you, on fountain pens? Like I say, this wasn't expensive. I think it was $29.99. But I thought, well, if I'm venturing into the world of fountain pens, then let's not go daft, Simon. Let's not be daft. You need a new hobby, collecting pens. I don't want it to become a thing. No, it can never replace a real pen and paper. I agree. And there's something I used to love. We don't do it now, do we? I used to love sending and receiving letters. When I was a teenager, I had a pen pal with somebody in Canada. I wonder what happened to her. We had an exchange tutor come from Canada, Ontario, and brought a list of names and addresses with him of kids from his school in Canada that wanted a English pen pal. And I just saw this name. It was Jodie Story. I saw this name and I thought, oh, that's a cool name. And I assumed it was a boy because the only time I'd heard Jodie before was from a sitcom that we had from America called Soap. These are the Tates and these are the Campbells. And Jodie was one of the characters played by Billy Crystal, and I just assumed, and then I wrote this letter, and off it went. And then you waited weeks, didn't you? And then this other one came back, and she was like, "Actually, I'm a girl." And we must have chatted for a couple of years, and then we moved, and yeah, just wonder whatever happened to Jodie's story. She'd be the same age as me, but anyway, why am I telling you that? Yeah, so I loved writing letters, and then when I worked at the theme park, we used to have winters where we couldn't work together because the theme park was closed. We didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have computers. We did have house phones, but I used to write letters to people, to my friends, and I used to love receiving a letter as well. And I can't remember the last time I received a handwritten letter. I mean, we get cards, and they're nice as well, aren't they? But we'll get cards when we send gifts and things. We often put a card inside. But just to receive a letter, it's a dying art. I might do it. I might start writing letters, like I've got time. You can but hope. Oh, Patsy had an Italian pen pal when she was at school. What you write is actually impacted on how you write it. Writers have tested it out. Dictation, longhand, typewriter, computer, and so on. It changes what you write. I can believe it. Simon, diamine ink, Mystique, violet with gold shimmer. But is it by Lamy? Because apparently you have to have their cartridges because they fit just right. And if they do, there is a purple pen, one the same as this, but in purple. And I thought, should I get it? And I thought, no, I'm going to get blue ink, so I'm going to get a blue one. There was a more traditional blue, but I really love this kind of aqua blue. This is how it starts. This is the moment. Anne with her shimmer ink Mystique violet with gold shimmer. That sounds amazing, doesn't it? Soap was a great show. I think Billy Crystal played the first openly gay character on TV. I think you're right. I always remember, I mean, I'd only be 13, 14. I can remember there was a scene where I can't remember why, but they'd got a police officer there at the house or security or something, and they were checking for weapons. And Billy Crystal, as Jodie, came home. And as he walked through the door, this officer came up to him and started patting him down. And he went, "Mom, for me, you shouldn't have." It was just really funny. Is it funny how that stuck in my mind for like nearly 40 years? I suppose Beth says, I used to be a journalist. When I wrote on a keyboard, there was a distance that often didn't happen when I wrote by hand. Yeah, which wasn't often. Yeah, I can really understand that. It is more personal and intimate, isn't it? Using ink. Get some nice stationery paper, good quality paper, a nice pen, and then just, I mean, it's not as fast because I take my time more when I'm writing. When I'm typing, I make typos. But I think you forget how to write as well. If you don't use it, you lose it, they say, don't you? Violet with gold shimmer. Ooh, exactly. Violet. um, so when you get a converter, then you can refill from bottled ink. I know I've started watching videos on converters. It all looks a little bit complicated at the moment, but yeah, maybe that's the next step. Bottled ink. Hi Kay, nice to see you. Oh, you didn't get notified. That sucks. Hello, is it Gigi. It's nice to have you here anyway. Okay, so I think that's as much as I was going to cover. I thought that would take about 20 minutes. It's taken nearly 50. So the books that I've got, my new kind of sojourn into the world of pens. And what else did I talk about? Oh, Kelly's pouch. So, topics. What would you like to talk about? It is over to you. Name a topic and we'll talk about it. If I've got knowledge of it, that is. If you start asking me about astrophysics or brain surgery, then I might be a little bit stumped. But it has already become a thing, Simon, methinks. What's that, Becca? The pen thing. Handwritten letters are so much more personal than emails. Yeah, and emails tend to be short, don't they? Because you just say what you're going to say, and then they reply anyway. I mean, it's great having that instant kind of connection, more or less, because you've got to write your letter, you've got to put a stamp on it, you've got to pop it into a post box. If it's going overseas, it could be weeks. But I don't know. There's just something really nice of a letter dropping on your doormat, and you think, "Oh, someone wrote to me," and then just reading it. It's lovely. Serial killers becoming tarot readers in prison. Oh, is that a thing, Calla? Serial killers becoming tarot readers in prison. Who has become a tarot reader? Which serial killer? Do we know them? I suppose the tarot is accessible to everybody, but I'd be surprised that you'd allow tarot decks in prison. But then you're allowed playing cards because you've got to pass the time. But can you imagine being an inmate and saying, "I'd like a tarot deck to be brought in, please"? Cost of stamps is shocking. I think, let me just check as well on Facebook, because I put this in Facebook, so I'll see if there's any subjects. Yeah, subjects mentioned in there. There's a couple of people waiting to join. So Eve is in and Kinga is in. Kinga, not the Kinga from Big Brother, is it? Oops, I've just appeared because I'm in the Hermit's Cave. I forgot I was streaming in there as well. So, hello to anybody watching in the Hermit's Cave. Let's see if there's any comments or ideas. I can't find it. That isn't that typical where I posted it. Oh, 2 comments. Can you please everyone, says Becca. So a subject, can you please everyone? No, is the short answer. You can't please everybody. Because whatever you do, there's always going to be somebody who likes it and somebody who would prefer it done in a different way, if that makes sense. So let me try and think of an example. I could wake up tomorrow and I could have a comment from somebody saying, "I really was distracted by you having your doors open in the background. It took away from what you was talking about because I was so distracted." So that's not going to please somebody. When I used to face that direction, when I first did it, people were like, "No, I don't like the new setup. I much preferred it how you had it before." When I moved it back, don't like it that way. Or people will say, "Oh, I wish you did this," or "I like your videos, but." But that's the beauty of YouTube, because you have to do what you do and you attract the people who like what you do. And there is enough out there of alternatives. So I know that the people that I follow on YouTube I like for certain things, and I'm not going to start mentioning, but because that wouldn't be fair to say I like them for just this, because it's not as black and white as that. But you there's certain ones I go to because it's relaxed and it's humorous and we can have a nice chat, or there's others because I want to feel like I'm having a bit of a lesson in something. Or I might choose somebody or a couple of channels because I like the way they do walkthroughs because they mention A, B, and C. So you find what you like, and I would never say to them, "Oh, I think it's great what you do, but would you do this, or would you do more of that, or less of that?" Or because they're doing what they do, and they're comfortable doing what they do, and I have a choice of whether I watch or not, if that makes sense. So if you try and please everybody, then you're gonna be on a losing fighting a losing battle, because if you change something to please somebody, other people aren't going to like that change. So you then you like end up in a situation like, I can't win. So the best thing to do is just do your stuff, and then those who like it and appreciate it will stick with you. And then those that don't, or they might get bored after a time with your content and think, "Oh, same kind of stuff," because that's fine too, because we evolve and we grow as people. So um, they move on. But also, we change as well as content creators. We might try and have some consistency. So my consistency is doing this every Saturday. Sometimes I really might not feel like it, and I think, oh, so tired, or such a busy day. All I want to do is put my feet up, make a sandwich, and watch The Crown. You know, I'm saying that because that's how I felt about 5 o'clock. I was like, I want to watch The Crown. I want to have my sandwich. Got to do a live. But then, as soon as I sit here with everything set up, I forget the time and I just enjoy doing what I do. And I'm glad that I've got that consistency, because people know that it's this time on this day and they turn up. So that's one thing, and that's doing what I do because I enjoy it. If I really didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it, let's be honest. But I do it because there is an expectation as well, but I get enjoyment out of it, if that makes sense. Um, and yeah, I changed the time. I changed from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and some people didn't like that. But on the whole, people appreciated it because it opened up to more people being able to attend. Because at 4 o'clock, that was 8 o'clock in the morning on the west coast of the USA, and the very early hours of the morning in like the southern hemisphere, like New Zealand and Australia. Whereas coming on at 7 is a bit later in the day for the States, and a wakeable time for people in Australia and New Zealand. So it was a switch, but not everybody liked it. But you just have to go with what feels right. So, in answer to your question, Becca, if you're still here, um, then no, you can't please everybody, but I don't think we should try either. I think we should just do what we enjoy doing, and then like attracts like, and people will come and support if they want to. Let's see if there's any other subjects that people want to discuss. We've still got half an hour, so which decks are you currently using the most besides Pixie's Whisper, which is a great deck? It is mainly Pixie's Whisper. The ones I've got around me, and I don't mean on shelves in front of me where I can grab them, because they're there, they're set there. But I have these at the moment. So my Ride or Die, I do have Pixie's Whisper because I'm loving it. We'll pull from that. And then in my double Kelly pouch here, I've got the I love the way this is edged. Really matches the brown and the Tarot Vintage. I cannot wait for the Marseille Tarot Vintage to come out from Lo Scarabeo as well, because that is going to go the other side of this. I'm going to have these as a set together, because in this one is my vintage 1JJ Swiss, which again I've edged in brown to match the backs. But this deck is gorgeous, and I love this version of it. I didn't think I'd be able to that it could be bettered in any way, but this vintage version on MPC by Conrad is amazing. So they're the ones I've been using around me: Marseille, Rider-Waite's, and Pixie's Whisper, which is a Rider-Waite, but it's a Rider-Waite with a modern twist to it. And on paper, you don't think you think it wouldn't really work, taking the 1910 black and white Pixie's images and then, you know, adding modern symbols and colours and everything like that, but it so does work. Hello, Patrice. Nice to see you. Oh, and June. Somebody's saying hello to June. So hello, June and Patrice. Perhaps a tour of your spiritual stuff, apartment tour. Do you guys want to see that again? I kind of feel like I've done that to death, but I do get a lot of people asking about an apartment tour, and I did one. I mean, apartment doesn't change that much, or does it? I've done my desk and all this area so many times, but if people want an apartment tour, I will do a video on that. Simon, what were you cooking or using the herbs for, or is it a herb stand? So the herbs that are there are the herbs that I use the most. So there is always what I need for bolognese and what I need for chili. So I have things like my cinnamon, paprika, chili flakes. I use lazy garlic. I don't buy the dry garlic. I use lazy garlic in a jar, which is quite nice. I've got coriander. There's basil, chive. What other herbs have I got there? I've got mixed herbs. What else do I have there? Garam masala, I have that for curries. I have cumin. Yeah, they tend to be the ones I have the most. Then you can't see it at the moment because the sun is shining it out, but I have a fry light there as well. Salt and pepper, of course. Caroline, I think you might be a little bit behind, unless I'm behind now. They don't put timestamps on anymore. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but there's no timestamps. So I don't know how far back the chat is. You could look at it at one time and it would say something like 1952, and you think, ooh, I'm 9 minutes behind. But now you can't, because they keep changing things. But the good thing is, what they have reinstalled, if you want to sub to somebody, you can click on their name and it says go to channel. They took that off for a couple of years. So it made it harder to subscribe to somebody. But now you can just click on their name, go to channel, sub, and then you're done. You can come back. Carolyn said, I always told my kids to be true to you. Yes, good advice. Definitely. Just look and see. Simon, I so appreciate your idea whenever. Thank you. Thank you, Patrice. Oh, and Patrice has finally got Pixie's Whisper Tarot and Lenormand. You got the Lenormand. A part of me was thinking, should I get the Lenormand? But I don't read it. I would be buying it purely to support the artist because Lorene is lovely. Really, really lovely person to communicate with. And just to say I've got the collection, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't read Lenormand. Haven't really done much on my channel as I really am lost what to do. Kind of lost my way, so to speak. Patsy, have you thought about doing a live again? I know you kind of toyed with it once. You did a couple of lives, and they were quite nice. Or have you seen any tags? Because I always think tags is a way to bring you back into things that that you might enjoy doing, perhaps. 'Cause it would be nice to see you doing content again. Here's June. Hi, Simon and everyone. Life has been super busy, but I can just stay a few minutes. Bless you. Where you get your energy from, June, I don't know, but send some this way, please. Yes, please, Simon. We are nosy. Any news on Poppy Palin's Tarot Deck Wild Spirits being re-released? No news. The only thing which I shared in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group was Schiffer did respond to the request, saying that they were all extremely shocked and saddened by Poppy's passing, and that they are planning to do something to honour her over the next few months. As to what that is, I don't know, but that's nice that they're thinking about something that they can do over at Red Feather. Simon, still waiting for Simon's curry recipe. Love curry. Which curry recipe? I'm quite simplistic when it comes to curry. I use mushrooms, but I have onions, peppers, and mushrooms, and soften them off. And then whatever you're using, if you're doing keema, then I use 5% mincemeat. But if I'm using chicken, then diced chicken. I add a tin of chopped tomatoes. I add tomato puree to thicken it. Then I add my curry powder. Either you can buy different strengths of curry powder, or you can buy, korma powder or masala powder, or whatever you want to use. And then I add chili and garlic. And yeah, just cook it that way. Unless you're talking about the mushy pea curry that I made for, was it Jen? When Jen came and stayed? I know I've made it for Kelly Bear, because she's vegan, so she really enjoyed the mushy pea curry, but oh, you just done, oh, you might, right, you've caught up, Caroline, that's good. It's so dark and throwing it down here. Oh, it's beautiful. I wish you could see the sky. It is blue. It's a glorious evening. Matt Garrison, Simon, where do you live again and what do you do for a living? Enjoy your channel. I've not seen you here before, Matt. I live in Nottingham, in the city centre. Nottingham is in the UK, and I work in education. I'm a manager. My curry recipe isn't exactly a recipe. I don't think we've ever made it the same way twice. Yeah, it's kind of just throw it in with curry, isn't it, sometimes? Patsy's been looking at tags, but so far I'm not seeing any I feel I can join in with, but keep looking. And I'm not comfortable with lies. I get too anxious. Oh, that's a shame, because that didn't come across when you did the lives that you did a year or so ago. Was it a year or so ago? It might be longer than that now. 100 degrees where Violet Lotus is. 100 degrees plus. I'm wanting rain. I'm studying the major split 1 to 10, justice as a transition card, and 12 to 21, and each card echoes the other, i.e. 1 to 12. Yeah, so splitting them and then looking at them. A bit like when we used to do that with the alphabet and you wanted to make a new language, you'd put A to M, and then on top you'd put N to Z, and then you'd correspond. Sandra still has to do her first live. No pressure, Sandra, but come on. You've had a laptop over a month. There's no pressure. Whenever you you feel it like you want to do it. I brought the last Wild Spirit deck and book directly from Poppy just a few months ago. She signed the book. Same. Yeah, after I did the Throwback Thursday of the Everyday Enchantment, and Poppy was there in the chat interacting, she sent me one of her last copies of Wild Spirit, and then yeah, she sent me the book, and it's signed. So what I should perhaps mention, because I did put it in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, which I'll try and get up now, but details of Poppy's service have been released, and they did say to share it with people. Let me just see if I can find it, or if anybody else can find it before me, then great. So I'm not quite sure, because I'll scroll, but it was a couple of days ago I put it on, or earlier in the week. And that's the problem with a group that's got 4,000 people in. You know, you post something and it goes further down. Unless somebody comments, then it comes back up again. But yeah, I'm struggling to find it now. I know it's in July. Typical. Let's see if I can search by my name in there. How do I do that? Unless anybody's found it, have they? Search in the Hermit's Cave, Simon Harrison. It's brought up the live now. Posted by you? Oh, but it's not showing it in any date order. It's got me and Elaine in 2018 in Edinburgh. Most recent. That's all I need to do. There it is. So that's information about Poppy's service, 12th of July. So yeah, if you want to, I'm not going to read all the information out, but it's gone out in the paper, in her local paper, and I've put it up in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group. People want to, they're asking for donations to animal charities, which, as you know, is something that was very, very close to Poppy's heart. So yeah. Let's see if there's any other topics. I hear the name Poppy and I feel so sad. And in time, I do believe that in time, when we hear that name, we'll just remember the beautiful spirit that she was, and you know, the gifts that she left. Other than using your cards for divination, Simon, do you use your cards for any other purpose, or include them in your day in any other way? Yeah, I mean, would I say I use them for divination? I guess I would, in as much as, and I was kind of, Brian and I last week, when Brian was on the channel, we was talking about this. You know, I used to be very adamant that to me there was a tool, you know, it's like holding up a mirror, it reveals what you're feeling. And I do believe that. But, you know, as somebody in the morning who sits there and thinks, well, what are the cards telling me about my day ahead? That's divination, right? Particularly when I've had experience in the past where I've done readings and I've ignored certain signs to my peril. So, but yeah, other than divination, I guess it is just that sort of using them for contemplation, to sit with, pull a card, study it. And when I say study it, what I mean by that is just look for things that I haven't seen before. Look at the details, because there's so much depth to the image, especially with Pix's artwork. Somebody posted a comment on a video the other day when I was talking about the video that I did about his signature, the missing signature on the full card. and they're saying, have you ever noticed, and I've only just noticed it recently after years of having it, what's inscribed around the magician's table? And it's things like that, you know, when you really study a card, and again, we talk about path working, you know, going into the card and then submerging herself in the card. And so it can just reveal insights that aren't just about divination. I said that almost like I'm putting down divination, and I'm not. But you know, you can get so much from sitting with a deck. I mean, my hands tingle thinking about it. You know, when I sit with a deck and hold it in my hands, and then I might just start that gentle shuffling. I might even be watching TV or just listening to some music, and it's almost like you go into like this meditative process of just shuffling your cards, and then you open up a world and you look at those images, and you just, okay, what is this? What am I seeing? Firstly, the first thing I think about is, what am I seeing? And then you think about what you're seeing, and then comes, what lessons do I need to learn from this? What is it telling me? Okay. And it is a process. Still could be divinatory if you're thinking, well, that you're trusting in something greater to bring out those particular cards at that particular moment in time that then connect with whatever you want to call it, your soul, your psyche. They are a magical tool. That's the best way to describe it. They're a magical tool, but one that you could just get lost in. That's what I love about tarot, is I can get lost in them because they are a world, they are scenes. And like Rachel Pollack said, 78 pieces of wisdom, 78 insights, 78 life lessons, 78 life experiences, as well as everything else, you know, emotions. And what do you think of the reverse scale tarot? Do you have the deck? Sorry if I missed it. Do you mean, because there's the disassembled one, isn't there? And then there is one, I'm not quite sure, it's over here somewhere. That's the one from Ukraine, I'm thinking, where the symbols are huge and the archetypal figures are quite small, aren't they? And it's on amazing art card paper. I do have it. I'm just trying to think where I put it. Ah, it's here. It is. I was looking at it the whole time. The reverse scale tarot. Yeah. So as you can see here, you've got a huge hermit lantern and a small hermit. So the idea of this deck is to get you to think about the symbols, and it's on this lovely matte cardstock. Just open the deck and it's straight onto the hermit. Yeah, and it's interesting. It's really interesting when it does that. I love the colours of this deck. It's colour coded, so you've got like orange for wands, you've got blue for cups, you get this earthy green for pentacles, etc. I haven't used it a lot, if I'm honest. Oh, look at the strength card there. But it's an interesting concept. There is a deck that I don't have called, I think it's called the Disassembled Tarot. And that seems quite interesting as well, but it hasn't called to me to put it on my wish list. By Pentagram Publishing as well. That's the name of the company in Ukraine. But yeah, interesting deck. Do you have it? Simon, I just got my first Leaning cardstock, Pagan Otherworlds. That's a beautiful deck. Beautiful deck. The healing and shuffle align with my heartbeat. So yes. The what's the name of the company? Something about playing professional playing. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. But they do quite a few, like Carnival at the End of the World. That's the printers anyway. UC obviously is the company that make Pagan Otherworlds, but they use expert playing card company, I think it is. Exactly, says Kay. Getting lost in a deck. I sometimes get butterflies when choosing a deck from my shelf. It can bring such contentment. Yeah. And there's just, for me, it's really comforting. It's really comforting to sit down with a tarot deck and start to shuffle it. It's like reconnecting for me, or consulting a friend. So I love it. Usi or something like that. Yeah, Usi is the company that made Brut, Pagan Otherworlds, the Eros. So they've done quite a few tarot decks, but they use a printer to get that quality paper. That also it's that deck it's on my wish list, but I don't have it. It's really great for inner child work. I forgot what it's called now. Kelly Bear had it not so long ago. They use expert printing company, and Carnival at the End of the World, the creators of that, also use it. Would be interested in seeing you do another catching up with Beneficial Tarot and a review of the first year being a tarot tuber. That's an idea. Could do that. I mean, Ben was quite recent. Was they quite recent? Probably back end of the summer. I did a catching up with him. So, but yeah, that's an idea. I'm looking to get tarot disassembled, says Nicole. I'm loving Way Home at the minute. Very intuitive. I sit and shuffle all the time when I watch TV. Yeah, me too, Patsy. What was the deck I tried hard not to see, but Simon and Becca made me do it? Jesting, Tarot Nuage. Yeah, Tarot Nuage is a deck that's very popular. Also, I don't talking same company that I've just mentioned, Reverse Scale, Pentagram Publishing. This is a lovely tarot deck, Granny's Postcards Tarot. Really, really nice. Again, it uses that same. These are the backs. It's got that same art card where it's just like beautiful, and it really makes the images stand out. And it's actually old postcards that have used to make a tarot deck. It's gorgeous. Expert Playing Card Company. That's it. I knew it was something like that. Thank you, Julie. I've not heard of 12 Chairs Tarot out of Russia. No, not heard of that one. Simon is loving Neutral Vibes Tarot as much as Woodland Warden goes with it so good. Neutral Vibes is fab. That's very similar to the one I showed where, well, kind of, but it's got the very earthy tones, neutral tones. It came with the Refine and playing card tarot deck on Kickstarter. You could pay for an extra tarot deck, which was Neutral Vibes, which is lovely. Just typed it off the box, babe. Oh right, okay. The expert playing card company. Carnival at the End of the World is very hard to handle, a bit slippery. You might not like Pagan Otherworlds then, because that's the same card stock. But yeah, I like it. I do. I think I've got 2 copies of Pagan Otherworlds, and I used to have a stand, well, a rack on my wall where I used to display a whole set of tarot cards at a time. And that one was the most beautiful, laid out all of them together on the wall, just stunning. Really stunning. Okay, so I don't think there's any more topics, so we're nearly coming to the end anyway. So I will pull a card and see what. Oh, these are all in order. They're all in order because I did my walkthrough the other day and I compared it with the mini one. So it needs a good shuffle. Artisan Tarot has the most gorgeous cardstock. Artisan Tarot are incredible. Not only are they, you know, kind of bringing back some really beautiful, classic, historical decks and making them more accessible for us. But they're using a great cardstock, lovely soft linen, almost like casino grade quality. Patsy says I'm weird. I like the Llewellyn cardstock. It shuffles so well. You're a riffle shuffler though, aren't you? So yeah, I think Llewellyn is a riffle shuffler's dream. But if you're hand over hand like myself, not so great. Vintage Moonlight's lots of different cardstock. Pixie's Whisper, says Violet. Sawyer's Path. Black Line Tarot. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one, Tony. Linen Glossy. I have a problem with MJ. Cullinane decks. Oops, nearly lost one. Okay, a message for the week. We have the Two of Wands. It's time to shine, people. It's time to shine. If you want to make your mark on the world, then now is the time to set your stall out. You know, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to achieve, you've got to allow people to see your talents. And you know, sometimes we might put it out there. We might kind of say, right, this is my time to shine, this is what I want to do. And people there might be some resistance, but it's how we handle that in the moment. Because sometimes people can say something and it can do one of two things. It can put us off or it can make us think, actually, that's something I'm going to take on board. That's something I haven't considered, you know. So thank you for that. And I'm going to, you know, sit on that for a while and ponder it. So yeah, time to showcase what it is that you want to do. If you want to make your mark on the world, then now is the time. Go for it. Focus and you'll achieve. But you know, you don't have to do it alone. Listen to people, gather that feedback, gather that advice, and you know, perhaps take it on board as well. Time to shine. Boost that solar energy, says Julie. You know, sometimes, you know, we can think embracing new ideas actually it can be really, really beneficial. We might have thought of something for so long, you know, we might have been nurturing this idea and thinking it through, and then the time is now. We're going to make our mark on the world. That's what we're going to do. It's time to shine. We're going to make our mark on the world. And then somebody comes along and says, well, have you considered X, Y, or Z? And then we kind of think, actually, that's not a bad thought. So many little details in this as well. Look at the little leaves that are there in the background. But anyway, whatever it is, show that you mean business. You know, it's time to shine, but show that you mean business. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's been lovely to spend this Saturday evening with you. I'm now off to put my feet up and have that sandwich and watch The Crown. But yeah, it's lovely to just spend some time with you. So thank you for being here. Just trying to think if I've got something coming up in the week. I'm going to be really busy this week. I've got an awards night on Wednesday. I've got something else on Monday, a reunion thing. So I might not be on much this week. Although I've got a couple of decks. But anyway, we'll see. Also, if you're wanting to come on for a Cuppa catch up, we can have a catch up together. Let me know. Drop me an email. In fact, have I got? There's my email across the bottom. So you can always drop me an email. If you're a content creator, send a link to your channel. If I don't know who you are, chances are I probably do anyway. But if you want to come on, even if you've been on before, so Brian has been back on. It was a while ago. We can reconnect again, so that'll be nice, and we'll do some catching up with. I'll schedule some in over the summer. But yeah, otherwise I'll be back next. No, I won't. I'm away next weekend. That's just reminded me. Going away to Derbyshire, staying on a lovely little farm in Tissington in Derbyshire. So I won't be here next weekend. So I'm going to go and stay with some friends and for some R&R. But yeah, so I will be around, but it's a busy time at the moment. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Look after yourselves, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.